And a highly trained police officer killed in a shootout with criminals last week has now been laid to rest. Warrant Officer Sthembiso Mazibuko of the National Intervention Unit was part of a team tracing murder and robbery suspects. 4 of the suspects were killed in that police operation. eNCA senior reporter Dasen Thathiah was at Mazibuko's funeral.
It's a somber day for the SAPS as they bid farewell to one of their own. Warrant Officer Sthembiso Mazibuko was killed during a shootout with suspects in Ntuzuma C-section. It's believed that police were acting on information that they had received and targeting that house where a wanted murder suspect was hiding out. 4 of those suspects were killed during that shootout. And now Mazibuko, who's from the National Intervention Unit, is being laid to rest. I'm joined by the Police Minister, Bheki, Cele, to talk about, I think, the theme that we saw during this funeral was just the stance and the attitude that you believe your officers need to take in dealing with criminals. That came across quite strongly. Just talk to me about why it's so important, particularly now, in light of Warrant Officer Mazibuko's death.
Well, the kind of criminals that we're dealing with are heartless. Not just heartless to the police, heartless to the community. Now, let me make this point. This criminal that was part of shooting where Warrant Officer Mazibuko died has been confirmed that in 5 weeks was responsible for the death of 12 people, those ordinary community members, which means if we don't act decisively with that kind of people, then they'll be putting the community at the back foot. So, indeed, if and when the criminals have declared war, we'll have to fight war. Otherwise, there'll be no safety. We must become a buffer between criminals and the communities. So, if they push us back, if they manage to kill and intimidate us, which means the community will be vulnerable all the way. So that stance, firstly, is on the defense of the communities, secondly, on the defense of themselves, and thirdly, on the putting the authority of the state on behalf of the people of South Africa.
How equipped are you to bring that fight to the criminals, especially when we're talking about, for example, your specialized units, which are dealing with these high-profile crimes?
Well, there is that, maybe that the criminals are winning because they've killed the member of the highly specialized units. Well, I've been around with the police almost 10 years as a national commissioner and now as a minister. It's the first time I bury the member of the NIU, except that those that I buried when I was national, they crashed with the helicopter. They did not die on the exchange of fire as it happened. So it will be really an alarmist approach to say that we are in a cliff where we are pushed back and all that. Hence, I gave the instruction to say this should be the first and the last, and I believe that they are taking instruction. We are just verifying now that at Mawuti, 7 people have been shot in one car. And it does look like one of them is linked to this gang of this person, or was one of those that was in the footage, was on the footage of cleaning the guns and all that. We are verifying that. There were 7, 2 are dead.
Suspects?
Yes. They remain suspects. We are verifying how linked they are. But indeed, one of them would have been part of it. 2 are dead, 4 are injured, and we're dealing with that. Again, it does look like there is one woman among them. So there's a trend that we really want to call to say that young ladies, young women must stay away. So if it's really linked, that is a stance that we want. That is a call. Because if it's not us going for them, they'll definitely come for us. But the problem, they are not only coming for us, they are going for ordinary citizens, women, children, elderly, and everybody. So it will be important that we take this stance and we act decisively when we're facing with such dangers.
Appreciate your time, Minister. Thank you so much. That is Police Minister Bheki Cele saying that now there may have been further progress in that matter involving those suspects that were killed in Ntuzuma as part of the shootout that left Warrant Officer Mazibuko dead. I'm Dasen Thathiah in Durban.